Today, we are delighted to welcome Dr. Ahmed Abdelkader, Senior Program Manager at Global Innovation and Entrepreneurship Company, who will be guiding us through the topic of idea validation. The floor is yours, Dr. Ahmed.
Okay, thank you, Ranim, and I hope this presentation will be kind of different to everyone. I know you're very tight on your time and you're preparing for your pitching, so I hope this presentation can walk you through the whole process and make a clear understanding of what the idea validation and value proposition are, not just the theoretical definitions, but also practical experience and hands-on experience to what we can learn and apply to our pitching in the upcoming days. So let's start with the presentation. So again, my goal isn't to add more load to your workload, but is to give you a critical competitive edge to make your pitch impossible to ignore. So let's start first with the biggest threat to every startup idea. Maybe if you look at this chart, we have the top 10 startup mistakes. What's it in red? It's the number one reason responsible for over a third of all failures, which is building something nobody wants. Think about that. It's not running out of money first. It's just a lack of market need. As engineers, we fall in love with our solution, but the market only cares about its problems. So we are here to inoculate your pitch against this killer mistake. So every startup journey starts with a bold launch, but without validation, it can crash, wasting massive amounts of time and money. So the core defense against failure is idea validation. That's why we're talking today about this. So what is validation? It's not a guesswork. It's actually a systematic process of testing and confirming two things. Does your idea solve a real problem for a specific target audience? And it's a commercially viable? So it's all about gathering evidence to make informed. What informed? Informed decisions and choosing to fail fast, learn faster, rather than just hoping for the best. So this means we have to move away from vague feelings. An initial idea, okay, the initial idea here is fuzzy. How? It's just busy professionals need a smart refrigerator. We convert that into a sharp, testable hypothesis. We believe busy professionals aged from 25 to 45 living in a city or the city center will sign up for a service that auto orders milk and eggs, paying $10 per month for the convenience. So your pitch should be a conclusion, not an assumption. A hypothesis gives you the audience, the action, and the metric. So you can't sell to everyone. This is a very important rule. You have to define your target persona. Who is your ideal customer? The clearer you are down to their demographics, what they read, and the apps they use, the sharper your solution will be. Look at this case. We have Khalid. He is not just rich. He's the head of talent at a major consulting firm. We know his goals, for example, maximize investment outcomes, and more importantly, his specific frustrations, like wasting time searching for basic financial info. So your pitch must speak directly to his specific individual's pain. So remember, validation starts with the problem, not your technology. As innovators, co-founders, we often fall in love with our solution, but customers will only care about their own pain points. Please consider this and remember this. Your focus must be on solving something that truly matters to your users. Another fascinating tool for getting to the true why is the jobs to be done framework. Why? Because it changes the conversation. You aren't selling a product. You are selling a way for the customer to hire your service to get a specific job done. So let's refine your pitch evidence. A strong hypothesis, as we saw earlier, is measurable. It clearly defines the feature, the target, and the metric. So use this template. We believe the action or the feature X will solve the problem Y for the target Z, leading to the metric 1 success. That's it. So, since you're so close to pitching, you need to know what to highlight first. So, there is something we call prioritization matrix. We use it to plot impact against urgency and effort. You should only be presenting the hypothesis or the features that fall in the must-do quadrant, high impact and high urgency. These are the fundamental assumptions your business model rests on. So, how do you get this evidence? And you should get it quickly, by the way. You need two types of research, okay? The first, we call it the qualitative research. The why, this is about discovery. You need customer interviews, which is very important, and you ask open-ended questions about past behavior and listen, always listen for their pain. Don't pitch your idea. You need to observe. And here comes the second point, the observation, which involves seeing users in their natural environments to find those unstated needs. This is really important to know the results of the qualitative research. And the second type of the why is the quantitative research, which is how many. This is about verification and data at scale. So you need surveys that help you validate a few interview insights across a large audience. You can also use a landing page tests, for example, which is a simple web page describing your idea, to measure interest by tracking signups, for example, before you write a line of product code. Then, by this way, you think smart. So, all this testing leads to your what we call MVP, which is minimum viable product. So an MVP is not a smaller or buggy product. It's the smallest possible experiment that allows you to learn the most about your core hypothesis with the best, I'm sorry, something here with, again, the MVP is not a buggy product. It's your possible, the best and smallest possible experiment that allows you to learn the most about your core hypothesis with the least effort. This is the most important thing, the least effort. So when you present your MVP as your most validated experiment, then you made something perfect to your idea. So we need a structured way to ensure your product creates real value and directly targets the customer. That tool is the value proposition canvas. And I think most of you seen this before. So for the moment, let's step back and see where this fits. The value proposition canvas, or what we call the VPC, is a critical component for the larger business model canvas. Your value proposition sits at the center, connecting the customer segment to your operations and revenue. So now you know the importance of the value proposition. It's really important, and as we said, it's in the heart of the canvas. So at its core, the goal is fit, aligning your value proposition, which is the feature you design, with the client description, the characteristics you verify. Here is it. So can we apply this talking? Because I know this is kind of theoretical words, but we can have an example for a case study, for example, that can be beneficial to apply this example to your ideas actually when you pitch your ideas. So this is just what we said, the value proposition and the customer characteristics. Here's our example. Let's use the example of a taxi rider in Cairo. We start with the customer profile. What are the customer jobs? Maybe find a taxi, know the address, arrive in the destination, and payment. Those are the core tasks. Then we move to the pains. What are the pains? The pains here could be like fraud or waiting too long or not knowing the way and no change, for example. So these, we mean by the pains, the problems your pitch must focus on to get the attention of the one who's listening to your idea. So after the pains, you transfer to the gains. What are the gains? What outcomes do they want? Maybe affordable price, pay easily, arrive quickly, and professional driver. So now you apply the definitions we went through to a real case study to your idea. Everyone can do this to his or her idea. So we have here, we built the solution, right? And the value map, our core service, is a taxi app. So we need here to map our features as pain relievers and gain creators. So if we start with the pain relievers, for example, what are the pain relievers? This is the taxi app, and the pain relievers for us, or let's start with the gain creators. Yeah, I'm sorry, there is something with clicking here. So again, our pain relievers are the features that directly attack the customer's pains. For example, the e-wallet and counter for accounting. solve the no change, for example, and fraud problems. Instant booking and make an itinerary route, solve waiting too long and not knowing the way. Our game creators deliver the desired gains, like features like a fixed price and a driver evaluation system, for example, that deliver affordable price and professional driver gains. So this is the powerful outcome. This is the fit. Your pitch must explicitly demonstrate this alignment. You're not just presenting a feature, you're presenting a pain reliever that is validated to solve a pain your target market hates, really. This alignment is what separates a student project from a viable business idea. This is very important to you to know this information. So I will share with you this video and we'll try to make a conclusion about what we say. But first, let's start with this video.
Every day, companies design products and services to improve their customers' lives. But 72% of new product and service innovations fail to deliver on expectations. This means that customers don't care about 7 out of 10 new products introduced to the market. It doesn't have to be this way. Just like you create value for your business with a business model canvas, there is in fact a tool to intentionally visualize, design, and test how you create value for customers. It's called the Value Proposition Canvas. The Value Proposition Canvas is composed of 2 parts, the customer profile and the value map. With the customer profile, you describe the jobs your customers try to get done. Jobs can be functional, like getting from A to B, social, like impressing friends and colleagues, or emotional, like gaining peace of mind. You highlight your customers' pains, which annoy customers while trying to get the job done. Pains are negative outcomes that customers hope to avoid, like dissatisfaction with systems, solutions and challenges, frustrations, risks, or obstacles related to performing the job. And you outline customer gains, which describe how customers measure the success of a job well done. Gains are positive outcomes that customers hope to achieve, like concrete results, benefits, and even aspirations. Use the customer profile to visualize, test, and track your understanding of the people or companies you intend to create value for. It's a map that becomes clearer the more you learn about your customers. The second part of the canvas is the value map. With it, you list the products and services your value proposition builds on. You describe in which way these products, services, and features are pain relievers, how they eliminate, reduce, or minimize pains customers care about, making their life easier. And you outline in which way they are gain creators, how they produce, increase, or maximize outcomes and benefits that your customers expect, desire, or would be surprised by. The value map makes explicit how your products and services relieve pains and create gains. Use it to design, test, and iterate your value proposition until you figure out what resonates with customers. You achieve fit by creating a clear connection between what matters to customers and how your products, services, and features ease pains and create gains. Great value propositions target essential customer jobs, pains, and gains, and do so extremely well. Your customer profile may contain countless jobs, pains, and gains, but your value map highlights which ones you intend to focus on. Don't forget, an outstanding value proposition can still fail if your business model is flawed. Successful companies embed outstanding value propositions in scalable and profitable business models. Use the value proposition canvas to create products and services that customers want. Get started.
So, do you still hear me, right? Great. So to conclude, before we take some questions, I believe you need to use this process to design products and services customers want, actually, not what you want, but you should always refer to the market need, as we said before. The entire validation process is about achieving the fit that the value proposition canvas explains. I believe, if I were you, that my final task for the next days is refinement. So I need to make sure that my presentation answers these three questions backed by evidence. The first question is, who is the single most important persona that I really want to target? The second question is, what is their most painful validated problem that my solution must be solving? And the last question is, how does the core feature, my core feature, the MVP, provide a direct and proven fit? So evidence beats assumption every time. So I thank you and good luck with your uh, presentations. I hope you all the best. And I believe, I know I went through it quickly, but I know there is some time for a couple of questions if you have, of course. Thank you so much. So Ranim, I believe if there are some questions maybe on the channel, and if you can provide us with some of their questions, I'm glad to answer it, if any. Sure, thank you. Oh, yes, of course. I can send the PowerPoint. I believe I will handle this with the organizing team. How long the video submission should be? I believe maybe Fahmi can support with answering this because I'm not very familiar with the instructions of the submission process, but I believe we can answer this question, yes, and maybe send an email to uh, to guide the people again about the instructions that is needed. Again, you need to contact, if you didn't receive an email, you need to contact the organizing team um, because they need to validate your participation first. This is very important. I was expecting questions actually regarding the topic, but it's fine to have questions about the challenge itself. That's why we have our team here to support with any of these questions. Okay, let's make it simple. The goal is to present a business model. Okay, there are a lot of applications and tools that you can actually to present this and get something understandable for anyone. The most important, as and this was the aim of the presentation, is the content, is to define the value proposition, again, the persona, and so on. Okay, I will read the question. In the first slide, I think you said there are bad things for the project or startup, which included spending a lot of money. If my project needs the help or the permission of the government, is it bad or good? Okay, this is a good question, actually, because it depends, actually. It depends on what? Again, not every idea needs money at the first. Okay, not every idea. Maybe you can illustrate more to give me a heads up just to make a better answer. But in general, because this question is too general to me, but in general, not every idea needs fund at its beginning. You can just validate your idea, and then you can ask for support from different entities. Maybe one of them is the government, of course. Some people maybe needs a certain kind of access to maybe a certain kind of data. For example, maybe in fintech applications, they need the access from the government, okay, from maybe the Ministry of Finance or so on, or the central banks and so on. But is it a rule? Is it a general rule? No. So as a direct answer to your question, without knowing any details, is no. Or it's not bad and it's not good. It actually depends on the state, you know, on the status of your project or startup idea and so on. One of the mistakes people do at the beginning of their startups is they seek funds before they actually validate their idea. You can validate the idea in your circle. I will ask the team to share the presentation to your emails so that you can read it and get some ideas, of course. But what I understood is that you have already your ideas, and what I asked you in maybe at the end of the slide is to tune your presentations and forecast what we said today to your presentations when you are presenting, because you will have experts. Again, you will have experts who will be judging your ideas. So if anyone couldn't support his or her idea with what we mentioned today, I believe it won't be a very successful presentation. Next question, I will read it. I have a really good idea, but the problem that I can't make it physical. I can't make it physical right now because I don't have materials. Can I make it as an MVP or a simulation? Okay. I believe we need to first not to tell ourselves that my idea is good or not. I believe this is something I always tell to my students. Don't say my idea is good or bad, even. Don't judge your idea until you get a validation, until you get numbers. As I told you in the beginning, okay? The difference between the hypothesis and the assumptions. Now you assume that your idea is good, which is something I don't mind. But if you have numbers that validate your idea is good, then you have something. That's better. This is the first part of the question. You say you can't make it physical. So you are talking about kind of a prototype. And you say you don't have materials. I don't know if the materials are not available in the market, or maybe they are expensive. They are there, but you can't actually afford to get them. So you need kind of fund or something to get these materials and come up with an MVP, if I understand your question. In research at university, we usually do the simulation just to save time and effort. To save time and effort, we do the simulation first, because simulation gives good results and it's validated then by the prototype. But again, you can send an email to the organizing committee that if you can show your idea without a prototype. Okay. I will read the other comment. Okay, about the business model, can I say I am not focusing on the user experience and the prototype, because if I didn't do that, why will people or government fund it or buy it? Again, as I told you, we don't say it's good or bad. We grab their attention with numbers and stats, and we satisfy a need in the market. So I don't tell when I am pitching, for example, I have a very good idea to you. You need to listen to me. No, people actually don't need to listen to our ideas. People needs to be convinced, not hected, you know? So when you are talking to everyone about your idea, I know that every one of us is very convinced with his or her idea. But the one who will succeed by the end of this, and look around you, the biggest companies who were startups one day and got a very good investment rounds completed, were those people who convinced the other guys, either investors or government or so on, that they have something and they have a need that should be satisfied by their solution. Those are the people who really succeeded to get funds and build a successful startup that later became a successful company. And there are a lot of examples that I believe you know it already. The questions are very good, to be honest. So I'm eager to have more questions if you have. For the better, it should be functioning. Does the prototype have to be functioning? For the better, it should be functioning, because you are at the stage of presenting your idea and convince people. Okay? Meaning it's not working, then it violates your claim, actually. Every one of us is coming and claiming he or she has a solution to a certain problem, right? So you need to validate this. So it's really better to have a working prototype. I believe this would be, for me, maybe as a judge, I will be more convinced when I see a functioning prototype. But again, I will appreciate that someone came and having a prototype. Maybe it's not working for some technical issues, but the judge will know either this technical issue was the reason of not working or not functioning prototype, or it's just not working from the original thing. Okay. Can the prototype be a poster? I don't have an answer to this question, but maybe you can direct your question to the organizing committee. Maybe they can support with a better answer. To be honest, I don't know if you can have just a poster without a prototype or not, to be honest. Next question. My team presented the idea and I just entered the broadcast. What should we do? We presented the idea. Should we walk and explain, or are there more things? I think you should follow up with the committee because they know what stage. Maybe you can send them your details and they send you the status of your project, and then they tell you exactly what you need to do as a next step. Next question, do we need to show our faces in the 3-minute pitching video? To be honest, it's not a must. I don't believe. All what you need to focus on is your idea. Maybe you can stand up and talk and pitch your idea. Maybe you show a video about the idea and what features it includes and so on. The main purpose is to present your ideas. Okay, this is very important. Next question. Where do we present it? Is it online or real life? Is a poster needed if we have a prototype? Again, regarding the poster thing, I already answered this question. You need to direct your questions to the organizing committee. Maybe if we can share, guys, with the participants here an email or something, they can send their questions. Maybe this would be much better for them. So any more questions? Again, I'm actually expecting questions regarding the topic, to be honest, not regarding the challenge. So if you have any questions regarding the competition itself, maybe you can direct the questions to the committee, the organizers. I know, and I believe they would support you with all guidance and help. But again, if you have any question regarding the topic itself, I'm glad to discuss it. Okay, another question, if the idea is too big and too expensive, can it still win the competition or will it not be put into consideration? Okay, no one knows who are going to win, okay, because it's not about an opinion or this idea is big or expensive. I don't know how do you mean by, what do you mean actually by too big, okay, or too expensive? Is it too expensive that the manufacturing of it is expensive, or do you mean the service you are introducing to people is expensive? Okay, so I need a clarification. However, when I'm talking from the perspective of a judge in this competition, I am talking about a certain criteria. I am assessing and evaluating the idea. What we talked about today is the main criteria, I believe. So if I have a team who presented a very clear value proposition, target audience, and very clear problem that needs a unique solution they offer, I believe they are the winners, with no doubt. It's not about being expensive, being big, and so on. We should be clear. As I told you, you need to answer some questions in your presentation. If you're done with that, I believe you can be presenting your ideas in a very frank way and you get the attention of anyone. Just be clear. Don't say my idea is just good. Validate that your idea is good with numbers, with statistics, please. Okay, next question. What do we focus so we can pass the filtration? As I told you, this is just the answer of the last question. Focus on the solution you are presenting, and this solution must be satisfying certain need, certain target audience, and you have clarified this very well. Next question, the value proposition. What is the main idea of it? Do we have to make the prototype good looking? Again, so these are two questions. The value proposition, what is the main idea of it? Okay, the value proposition is, as we walk through the presentation, is the core of your presentation, the core of your idea. If you look back at any startup idea, okay, let's go back to, for example, Amazon. Okay, before Amazon, how was life? I know most of the people here, maybe they are not too old, but before Amazon, we were go to certain groceries shops, before even the malls. You go to a certain place to buy your need. Then Amazon came with an application that I don't need to get out of my room even, and I just order what I need, either my shoes, my laptop, whatsoever, and it really delivered to my house within 1 to 2 days. So there was a need, and you actually order things from very different distances. So there was a need, and it was solved. And to be honest, some needs are not even clear to people, meaning that sometimes when you find something in the market, you don't feel, I didn't feel before that I really need that. But when I saw the product, I felt that I really need it. So I buy it. So this is successful. What is the main theme of the value proposition? Uniqueness. For me, as my point of view is uniqueness. When you create, some people are, let's differentiate. We have solutions, products, startups, or whatsoever. You have solutions that solve the problem, satisfy a need, which is good. And we have a lot of examples of things that satisfy the needs. There are certain needs in the market, and we have products that can satisfy these needs, okay? But what are better than this? What are the king? The king is someone who creates the needs and then give you the solution. Those are brilliant guys. Such as what? Apple. They give you the need of changing your iPhone every year. Every year. You cannot lower your standard, for example. So iPhone, with the rest of their products, they created the need actually, right? So for me, the main theme of a value proposition is uniqueness. And if you are smart enough to get and create the need and introduce the solution to solve it as well. Another question, can you tell us what we have to do? This is my first time entering this challenge. Okay, regarding this context we are talking about today, which is the pitching, okay? You have an idea, I believe you have an idea with a team, and you're going to pitch your idea in front of the committee, okay? I believe you will get a certain time to pitch your ideas and so on. The most important to me is to focus within your slides on what we talked about today. What we talked about today was what? Was creating a clear value proposition, deciding or determining a very focused target audience, a very clear hypothesis, so you have numbers and stats that empower your statement that you have a great solution for a great idea for a painful need in the market. Then your idea will be accepted. This is all what you need to do. But if your question about logistics, you can please kindly refer this question to the organizing team. Is making a prototype a must? My prototype will cost too much. I don't believe it's a matter of costing it too much. Maybe you can just make a simple idea. To be honest, you can refer this question regarding is it a must or not to the organizing team. and a presentation and the model can be enough? This is another logistical question that can be answered by the team. But again, my advice to you, don't make something costly. Okay, just validate your idea. Even there is a simulation. I believe applications, if you have kinda application idea, you don't need a prototype, you just need a simulation. Yes, simulations are accepted. Simulations are mostly welcome, because if I'm a judge and I have a simulation working and I can see some results, then you satisfied. What is pitching? Is there any awards for it? I don't know the details of the awards, okay? But the pitching is your idea is being presented and you need to deliver a clear business model in terms of what is the business model content. Again, the problem, the solution, the target audience, right? And the other things we talked about the presentation today that I will make sure to be sent to you so that you can review and revise your presentations and make sure it matches with the titles we talked about today. I really encourage everyone to do this today. So any more questions? Yes. How do we get in contact with the organizing team? This is the email we are sending from this. Yeah, this is the email, the official email you can use, uae@arabiot.ai.org. And I believe maybe we have here some of the organizers, and they can actually provide you with more details. Can I make the prototype with paper or cardboard? If it's sufficient to you and it can present your idea in a proper way, then do it with whatever. The only thing is to make sure that this thing can validate and present your idea very well. Do you know the rubrics based on which we have to make the project? I don't really understand your question. If you can rephrase it. If my idea is on AR STEM learning platform, do I have to make a real prototype with STEM kit in it, or I can make an application-based platform? Again, the easiest way to you, no need to invest a lot of things, no need to do something like this. All what you need is to have something presentable, clear, to be like what we say, convincing to the people who are listening to you. Okay. So I really thank you for your questions, and I really again I would like to recap things with you, because I really appreciate that you take the points I told you into consideration. So again, the more you are clear when presenting your idea, the more you will get the attention of the judge or anyone. It's not about the only the competition. It's about when you are having a presentation in front of everyone talking about your idea, you must be convincing. And how you should be convincing, it's only by be very specific at your idea, at your problem statement, at your target audience, at your value proposition, at your business canvas, at your fit, at your gains, all of these things. If they are very focused, then you get the attention and the acceptance of anyone who listens to you. So I really appreciate having this time with you, and I thank you all for attending this session. I hope I added something to you today, and I really appreciate having all of you. Thank you for your questions, and thank you for being here today. It was my pleasure, actually, to be with you and with my colleagues, Ranim and Fahmi. Thank you guys for organizing this. And I know very well that you're supporting, answering all of these questions, maybe. Uh, Again, I'm looking forward to your great ideas in the final pitching, and I hope you all the best. I will make sure to send these slides to you, and I'm looking forward to your amazing and extraordinary ideas. Thank you so much. Thank you again.
Thanks, Dr. Ahmed. Thanks.